Hello, it's Callie here for Saturdays on GenderqueerChat, and this week the topic is genderqueer in sports. Um, we've been asked, what is your experience with gender in sports? And as a genderqueer person, would you play on a men's, women's, or co-ed team? So I've never had a very positive experience with sports, and that's not really the fault of my surroundings, because my dad tried to get me to play football when I was younger. My brother really took to it, but I did not, and I still don't like football. I don't watch sports for fun. I don't enjoy them, and and I don't play them. I'm afraid. But when I was at school, we had to do PE. Obviously, it was compulsory, and that was very strongly gendered. Um, Boys played football, and girls did netball. And then the next term, boys played table tennis and girls did dancing. I mean, I can kind of understand the football netball thing, the kind of traditional sports, but I just don't really understand where that comes from. What's so male about table tennis? I suppose it was to keep us away from the dangerously feminine activity of dancing. Come to that. I mean, that sort of dancing. It was like, I don't know what sort of dancing it was. From what my friends told me, you had to sort of make up your own routines. Like you got taught moves and you had to make up your own routines. It was like dancing by yourself. You had to make up your own routines. Very odd. But of course, I was educated in Scotland, where the entire month of December is devoted to learning Scottish country dancing, like folk dancing, like that you do Callie to the fiddle and things like that. The gay gardens, the dashing white sergeant, waltzes, that sort of thing. Entire month of December, PE, to prepare you for the Christmas dance. PE lessons are devoted to that. Um, so yeah, and I enjoyed that. I like, I like Caley. Um, Although I haven't been to one in a wee while. But I never have enjoyed sports. As I said, actually, this links in quite well with my video last week because I'm from Glasgow, where sports and religion are actually quite oddly kind of intertwined because there's one Protestant football team and a Catholic football team, Rangers and Celtic, respectively. And I mean, um, my brother supports Manchester United, which which are a famous and good English football team, and I've never had even the slightest interest. There's another team in Glasgow which are famous for being rubbish, who are Partick Thistle, and people who weren't either Protestants or Catholics, or who just wanted to stay out of the big rivalry, tended to support Partick Thistle. My uncle supports Partick Thistle, and so I think if I had supported a football team, it would have been them. But yeah, I never engaged with it. I'm afraid I just always had that kind of disconnect from it. It's one of those sounds like nails down a blackboard, the roaring of a crowd at a football game. I really don't like the sound. It sets me on edge. And I've played things like I've played tennis and badminton with my family, and but really, I don't enjoy sport. Both my parents do running or have done running in the past. Mum doesn't really do it anymore. Of like they run marathons and half marathons and things like that. But again, I was never interested. I like walking, and I like to do kind of physical activity, and I like long walks on the beach or off the beach or up hills. So I live in the ideal country for hill walking. The bit I live in at the moment is quite flat, but up north in the Highlands it's beautiful, and there's all these wonderful mountains that you can go up, and just fantastic views over every ridge. So I'm very fortunate in that sense. I live in somewhere it's nice to walk. When I was at school, most of the time you got put into PE classes, and as I said, boys played football. girls played netball, boys played table tennis, girls did dancing, but there were also like co-ed classes where everyone played basketball together, everyone played field hockey together, as I recall, and everyone did sort of athletics together in preparation for sports day, like the triple jump and the 100 metres and all that sort of rubbish, and running. They couldn't think of anything else to do, you just have to run around the track. But when I was in my last year of school, when I was in my second last year of school, we didn't have to do any PE at all, but when I was in my last year of school, we got to choose our own PE classes, and when I was at school, all my friends were girls, and so I was the only boy in this class of girls, and I enjoyed that because they picked the sports along the, like they would pick like a curriculum of sports that you were going to do for the rest of the semester. So there was one that was all boys, and they basically had football all the time, except if it was raining, and then they maybe played table tennis or indoor football. Then there was one that just did basketball the entire year round, and that was generally quite evenly distributed. And then there was one where you did like a mix of things, like you did basketball, badminton, hockey, and that was evenly distributed as well. And then there was the one where you did netball, field hockey, basketball, badminton. It was almost all girls, and that's what I did. And that's when I learned to play netball, because I had never learned to play netball before, because I was the only boy in this class, and I had never learned to play netball before because it was not a boys' sport. But I like netball. Given that I dislike all sport, netball is my favourite of the ones that I have. Volleyball, that's the other thing we did. We did volleyball as well. But I was never good at any of them. But I had friends who weren't good at them either. It was quite a relaxed class. No one was too... I think because everyone else was girls, you see. No one was too competitive about it, because girls are not taught like boys in the same way to value sports above all else. So I enjoyed that. That was a good experience, being in a class with people who I liked, and I wouldn't want to play on a sports team, but if I did have to play on a sports team, I mean, I suppose I could see myself getting into sport for fun at some point in my future life. I'm aware now of being young and able to stay fitter than I will be able to when I begin to kind of mature like fine cheese. I will have to start watching my diet and exercise more, I imagine. And so I might take up some sort of sport, but I would definitely play on a co-ed team. I certainly wouldn't want to play on a men's team, because I find it a really unpleasant atmosphere. I never liked changing rooms or any of the kind of associated spaces and attitudes of men's sports. So yeah, that's me. It's been really interesting hearing everyone else's experiences and things about this, and I'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, before I go, let me show you. I'm giving a talk to my university feminist society tonight, and the topic of my talk is going to be, well, I'm leading a discussion. I'm doing a short talk, and then we'll be having a discussion about it. And the topic of my talk is effeminacy and feminism, and I decided that I would get a bit dressed up in order to do this talk, because I don't have that many opportunities. Don't know if you can't see. You can't see. Hold on. I'm wearing a skirt. I don't have that many opportunities to show that sort of thing off. So, bye.